Have you ever sat down, looked around your place, and thought, okay, it's just me now. So what do I really need to keep life running smooth and maybe even a little joyful after 70? Look, I've been around enough seniors and been one long enough myself to know this. Living alone isn't just about peace and quiet. It's about being smart, safe, and still sane. And no, I'm not about to hit you with generic fluff like drink water or get some rest. We're talking real practical stuff here. The kind of things that make solo life after 70 not just doable, but downright dignified and maybe even delightful on a good day. So pull up a chair, or better yet, grab that cup of decaf you reheated 3 times and forgot about. Let's get into the 10 things you truly can't live without when you're living alone after 70. Number 1, a check-in chain that knows when to worry. All right, let's start here because this is more important than most folks realize. When you're living alone after 70, having someone to say hi to every day isn't just a sweet little habit. It's your safety net. Now, I'm not talking about long, deep heart-to-hearts or calling your cousin just to hear about her new cat's haircut. I mean a reliable rhythm where someone, somewhere is expecting to hear from you. Even if it's just a one-word text like alive. I know a man named Walter, 75, who lives alone in a cabin just outside town. Not exactly tech-savvy, but sharp as a tack. He and his daughter set up a simple agreement. Every morning by 9 a.m., he texts her one emoji. That's it. Sometimes it's a thumbs up, sometimes a coffee cup. Once it was a pancake and she called just to make sure he wasn't choking on syrup. If she doesn't hear from him by 10 a.m. as she calls, no response by 11, she drives out. Does that sound dramatic? Maybe. But guess what? Last winter, Walter slipped in the driveway at 8 a.m. He couldn't get up, couldn't reach his phone, and it was below freezing. That pancake emoji saved his life. You don't need a team of people watching over you like some overprotective reality show. Just 1 or 2 humans who know your rhythm and care enough to say, hey, that's not like them. That's your chain. It doesn't need to be long, it just needs to hold. And if texting isn't your thing, put a sticky note in the window every morning. Flip a porch light on by a certain hour. Post on Facebook. Use your smart speaker. Just give the world a little signal that says, still kicking, don't send the cavalry. 2, a paper trail for your brain. You know that moment when you walk into a room and suddenly forget what you went in there for? Now multiply that by 4 rooms and 2 missed medications, and you've got what I call Tuesday. Here's the truth, my friend. As we age, the brain doesn't get worse, but it sure does get sneakier. Things that used to stick like Velcro now slip off like Teflon. And that's why you need to write it down. All of it. The weird, the routine, the forgettable stuff. Because here's what no one tells you. When you're living alone, there's no one else to double check you. No one to say, hey, did you already take your afternoon meds? Or why is the electric bill still on the table? My friend Ruth, 78, keeps what she calls the everything binder. It's got tabs for what she owes, what she owns, what goes in her body, and what to do if she suddenly becomes a ghost, as she puts it. She even has a section labeled Things I Keep Forgetting I Forgot. And it's not just for emergencies. It's for daily sanity. If you keep opening the fridge and wondering why you bought 5 jars of pickles, or if you're afraid you already paid that phone bill twice, a paper trail saves you from spinning your wheels. Do it your way. Notebook, planner, giant whiteboard, or even voice memos on your phone if your hands are tired. The trick is consistency. If you're going to write it down, write it all down. The good, the bad, the wait, what was I saying? And if anyone laughs at you for it, remind them. You're not forgetful, you're just underappreciated for your advanced filing system. 3, one just for you financial bucket. Now this one's close to my heart. So many older folks, especially those living alone, fall into this mindset of thinking their money is only for emergencies, medical bills, or leaving something behind for the kids. And I'm here to tell you, forget that noise. Yes, be responsible, pay your bills, keep the lights on. Don't go buying a racehorse on a whim. But you absolutely need one little pocket of money that's not for anyone else's benefit but yours. Call it your joy jar, your play fund, your still alive and kicking account. I don't care what you name it, but carve out a little slice that exists solely to remind you that you still get to enjoy life. That you're not just coasting to the end like a car running on fumes. You've still got gas in the tank, baby. I know a woman named Margaret, 2 years old and sharp as a tack. She lives modestly, clips coupons like a champ, but every few months she pulls $100 out of what she calls her spite fund. What's a spite fund? It's what I spend just to prove to everyone I'm not dead yet, she told me, cackling. She used it once for an electric blue wig and front row tickets to a jazz show. Another time she bought a cheesecake and a silk robe on the same day. Look, when you live alone, it's easy to get stuck in maintenance mode. Pay the bills, fix the faucet, order the meds, repeat. But that's not living, that's just treading water. Your financial bucket is about claiming your space in the world. It might be a weekend getaway, new paints for your art, replacing that squeaky recliner, or treating yourself to the good ice cream. Not the budget brand that tastes like frozen chalk. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it has to be yours. And if the grandkids ask why you spent their inheritance on a weekend spa retreat, just tell them, because I was alive, and being alive costs money. 4. A clarity folder for the what-if moments. Okay, let's talk about something that makes most people squirm. The what-ifs. What if you pass out? What if you're rushed to the hospital and can't speak? What if your neighbor finds you unconscious? Your cat sitting on your chest, annoyed that breakfast is late. It sounds dramatic until it's not. Here's the truth. When you live alone, you're the only one who really knows what's going on in your life. Your medications, your allergies, where your insurance card is, who to call, whether or not you want machines breathing for you. If something bad happens and you can't talk, the people helping you are flying blind. That's where the clarity folder comes in. This isn't about being morbid. It's about taking care of your future self. Think of it like a love letter to your loved ones, your caregivers, and even your own dignity. It says, hey, if things go sideways, here's the cheat sheet. My buddy Frank, 79, calls his the in case I croak kit. His words, not mine. And yes, he keeps it in a bright yellow folder taped inside his pantry. Inside, he's got copies of his ID, his doctor's contact info, a current medication list, emergency contacts, and even a little handwritten note that says, if my dog barks at you, just give her a slice of cheese and keep moving. The idea isn't to predict everything. It's to make sure no one has to guess during the worst moment of your life. And let me tell you, paramedics, nurses, adult children, they love people who do this. You're not making things harder. You're making it easier. You're being the grown-up in the room. Bonus points if you include something personal, a favorite quote, a list of your favorite songs, or even just, if I go out, bury me with socks, my feet get cold. That's your style. Own it. 5. A one-touch emergency solution. Now let's talk about something most folks don't set up until it's too late. A quick, easy way to call for help. Here's the deal. When you're living solo, there's no one in the next room if you fall. No spouse to hear you yell. Your dog might bark, sure, but she can't dial 911. You need something you can activate without crawling across the floor with a broken hip. Praying your phone didn't slide under the recliner. One touch, one button, help is on the way. You've probably seen those old commercials. I've fallen and I can't get up. We all laughed back in the day, but now it doesn't sound so funny. It sounds smart. I know a woman named Patricia, 76, who lives in a quiet little house. One day she slipped on a bath mat, cracked her tailbone, and couldn't move for hours. She didn't have her phone on her. When her son finally stopped by, she was dehydrated, confused, and furious at herself. Now she's got a medical alert watch. She presses one button and boom, her son and the fire department are notified. She says she sleeps easier now, knowing someone's got her back if she can't reach out herself. And here's the fun part. Modern solutions don't all look like clunky beepers from the 80s anymore. You've got smart watches that look cool. Voice assistants like Alexa that can call someone if you yell the magic phrase. Even devices with fall detection that auto-dial for you. The key? Whatever system you pick, it has to work when you're scared, shaky, or half asleep. That's the test. Can you use it with one hand or even no hands at all? Set it up before you need it, not because you're fragile, but because you're smart. 6. A kitchen setup that doesn't work against you. Let's be real. The kitchen can feel like an Olympic obstacle course after 70. That top shelf? Basically the summit of Everest. That dull knife you keep forgetting to replace? A lawsuit waiting to happen. And don't even get me started on trying to lift a heavy cast iron pot with one hand when your wrist has been aching since Thursday. But But here's the good news. Your kitchen doesn't need to be a battlefield. In fact, it should feel like your friendly little workshop, designed around you, not some TV chef with a film crew and a team of interns. The trick is to build a setup that makes cooking easier, not harder. That starts with rearranging things. No more bending over and digging in the back of bottom cabinets for the one pan you use every day. Bring the daily stuff up to arm level. Let the turkey roaster stay buried in the basement. You're not hosting Thanksgiving for 30 anymore. And if you are, God help you. And for the love of all things holy, toss out the gadgets that make your hands hurt. That can opener from 1987 that makes you swear like a sailor? Replace it with a push-button electric one. No one's giving out awards for kitchen toughness. My friend Nancy, 74, turned her kitchen into what she calls the lazy gourmet station. She's got a microwave, an air fryer, a mini rice cooker, and one good quality non-stick skillet. That's it. She makes full meals in under 20 minutes. And when she's tired, she nukes her pre-frozen batch meals like a queen. She also keeps a bar stool by the counter so she can sit while chopping veggies. And she installed motion lights so she doesn't have to fumble in the dark when she goes for late night tea. See, cooking shouldn't be a struggle. You're not proving anything to anyone. You're feeding yourself, and you deserve to feel safe, confident, and comfortable in your own kitchen. Oh, and one last tip from my buddy Larry. Buy the good olive oil. You're not saving the world by using the cheap stuff. You've lived too long to eat flavorless food. 7. A no-nonsense relationship with your body. Let's not sugarcoat it. After 70, your body starts pulling tricks on you. Things creak, joints complain. You stand up too fast and suddenly need a minute to remember what planet you're on. It's like your body becomes that passive-aggressive roommate who used to be chill, but now leaves weird notes in the fridge and locks the bathroom door just to mess with you. But here's the thing, ignoring it, brushing things off, that doesn't make you stronger. That just gives trouble more time to brew. You need a no-nonsense relationship with your body, no pretending, no bravado, just you being honest with what's working, what's changing, and what's screaming for attention. I've got a friend named Martin, 7, proud guy, ex-military, always walked around like nothing could shake him. For months he had dizzy spells, but kept saying, "It's just the heat, probably just hungry." Turned out his meds were interacting in a dangerous way, could have been fatal, all because he didn't want to be a burden. Look, when you're living alone, there's no one there to say, "Hey, you don't look so good." So you've got to be that person for yourself. Be honest when your foot hurts. Don't dismiss that chest flutter. Don't keep toughing out that weird pain in your side. Make the appointment. Mention the embarrassing stuff to the doctor. Tell the nurse what's really going on. And don't let anyone talk down to you. You've been in your body longer than anyone else. You're the expert here. Also, and I say this with love, go easy on yourself. Your body's been carrying you for decades. If it's a little banged up, so what? You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware, responsive, and kind to the one thing that's been with you since day one. 8. A ritual that grounds you even when life feels foggy. When you live alone, the days can start blending together like that mystery soup in the back of your freezer. You forget what day it is, you water the plants twice, and you start watching reruns of shows you just saw yesterday. That's where a ritual comes in. Not a routine, a ritual. Something simple, quiet, and grounding that tells your brain, "I'm here, I'm alive. This day belongs to me." My neighbor Gloria, 80 years old, with a voice like honey and a walker decorated with glitter tape, starts every morning with a cup of coffee and a gospel song on the radio. Same mug, same station, same porch. She doesn't miss it. She says it gets her soul in line before the rest of the day tries to pull her off center. Rituals don't have to be spiritual or fancy. It can be feeding the birds at sunrise, lighting a candle, writing one line in a notebook, sitting in your favorite chair with your hands around a warm mug, and doing absolutely nothing but breathing for 5 whole minutes. You do it not because the world demands it, but because you do. Because it's a small anchor in a big sea. Because when the loneliness creeps in, or the fog settles over your brain, or the silence feels a little too loud, that ritual is a thread tying you to meaning. It says, "This moment is mine. I'm still here, and I still choose to show up." 9. One hobby that doesn't require anyone else but still makes you feel connected. Let's face it, when you're older and living alone, everyone says, "Just join a group," like it's that easy. Truth is, some days you don't feel like going out. Some days you are tired of smiling when you don't feel like it. And sometimes being around people who talk too loud and forget to include you in the conversation just drains you. That's why you need a solo hobby that still makes you feel connected to something bigger. Something that brings you joy, gives your brain a little stretch, and taps into that part of your soul that says, "Ah, yes, this is me." I once met a man named Edward, 82, widowed, no kids, lived in a small apartment. You'd think he was isolated, but you know what he did? He learned Morse code. Yep, Morse code. He set up a little ham radio in his living room and started chatting with strangers from all over the world in beeps. I asked him why. He said, because nobody interrupts you in Morse code and you still feel heard. It doesn't have to be something quirky. You can paint, knit, do jigsaw puzzles while listening to opera. You can research your family tree and write little bios for each ancestor. You can journal every day, writing letters to people you miss. You can take care of plants, name them, and talk to them. I won't tell. The point is, you're engaging, not just existing. And even if no one's in the room with you, you still feel in tune with the world. Because connection doesn't always require company. Sometimes it just needs a good hobby and a little intention. 10. The willingness to ask for help before you desperately need it. This one, the tough one. The thing most of us struggle with more than anything else. You see, there's a lie most of us picked up somewhere along the way, that asking for help is weakness, that it means you're giving up, that it somehow chips away at your independence. But let me tell you the truth straight and clean. Asking for help early is strength. Waiting until it's a crisis, that's what really takes your power away. I know it's hard. We've spent a lifetime being the ones others depended on. Raising kids, running businesses, holding down the fort. Now reaching out for help feels awkward, even embarrassing, like we're putting people out. But here's what I've seen. The people who thrive alone into their 80s, and 90s, they ask for help before they need rescuing. They ask the neighbor's kid to change the light bulbs before they fall off a stool trying. They tell their doctor about that new pain before it turns into an ER visit. They talk about their feelings of isolation before the loneliness caves in their chest like a stone. There's nothing heroic about struggling in silence. And honestly, the people who care about you want to help, but they can't read your mind. They don't always know you're tired or overwhelmed or sad. You've gotten good at putting on a brave face. So take the brave route instead. Speak up. Call your niece to walk you through that phone update. Ask your pharmacist to explain the new meds again. Slower this time. Tell your friend, hey, I'd really love some company today. Are you around? You don't lose independence by asking for help. You preserve it. And frankly, if you're still looking and kicking after all life's thrown at you, you've more than earned the right to ask for a hand now and then. So there you have it. 10 things you can't live alone without after 70. And hey, it's not just about stuff. It's about systems, habits, and a little bit of soul. Whether it's that check-in chain that keeps folks from wondering if you've become one with your recliner, or a financial bucket just for guilt-free splurges. Yes, even that late-night QVC emergency foot massager. It all matters. Living alone at this age doesn't mean going it alone in every sense. It just means building a life that supports you, on your terms, at your pace, and yes, with snacks you don't have to share. If anything here made you laugh, nod, or think, dang, I need to set that up, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want more of these honest, real-life chats, subscribe and stick around. This is Elderly Mind, your little corner of the internet that makes solo life feel a lot less lonely and a whole lot more empowered. Take care of yourself, friend. You've earned it.